What's up, guys and gals, everyone? Andy Peters here. Want to give a quick update video to the post that I made yesterday about the $3,000 in my bank account. I've had many messages come about. Andy, how in the world did you have $3,000 in your bank account in February of 2014 and then you quit corporate America in August of that year? What happened within those 6 months? Nothing happened in those 6 months. It was what happened the years prior to that, the 16 years prior to that. So when I quit my job, I was 32. I started working when I was 16, pulling true 18, 20-hour days. I didn't just talk about it, I actually did it. And when I was pulling those days, I wasn't going out here and spending money like a madman. I was saving my money. I wasn't trying to keep up with the Joneses, if you will. I'm sure you've heard that term before. I wasn't trying to live a life that was out of scope for us, that tapped into our future and pulled us further away from it, okay? So as we're looking over numbers, $351 billion has been added to consumer debt since the beginning of this year. It puts the total amount of household debt right now at like $17 billion and some change. Let that sink in. It's unreal. We've had an 8% increase since the beginning of this year and now a 9% increase since 2008 of consumer debt. That's the number they're not talking about. We're talking about, yes, houses are going great, people are buying cars, people are going out shopping, people are doing all this stuff, and we're forgetting that it's all done on credit. It's gonna pull you behind. Now, as we look at these numbers, I like to talk about where are people putting their money? How are you saving money? Because that's the thing, to get to a point to where you can live freedom, be a stay-at-home mom, dad, whatever it is you wanna do, guess what you have to have? You have to have something that's paying you back. You have to have investments. If you're living off a cash reserve or something that's not moving and staying the same, sooner or later it's going to run out and then you're in trouble, right? So let's talk about this a little more. The average household right now, husband and wife, are bringing home a little over $90,000 a year. That sounds good, right? Not when you break it down. You start breaking down the average, and these are all averages. Average of house payment, average of subscriptions, average insurance, average car payment. You start doing the average all the way across the board. And then you start thinking about food, gas. The average American drives 16 miles to and from work. You start figuring up all these numbers, putting them down on a piece of paper, which I have them right here. And you know what you end up left with? Just husband and wife, no kids, 90K plus a year, but living the average American life without charging. If you don't charge, this is you just paying it out of your pocket. You're left with a little less than $300 a week. Throw kids into the mix. Throw school, lunches, trips, clothing. That's not including you and your wife even going out and eating. That's not including paying a nanny or a babysitter. So as you can see, the reason that these numbers are increasing is because we're not paying for it out of our bank account. We're charging, increased line of credit, charging, paying. Now, I'm not saying charging is bad. Charging is good. It'll help build your credit, and everyone needs credit. You can leverage your credit to do some amazing things in life, okay? But the average American is not utilizing their credit to make more money. They're using their credit to buy more things, to keep up with the next door neighbor, to keep up with their best friend, to keep up with social media so I can look better, I can post this picture, I can do this. Those were things that were not even on my mind back in the day. Those were things I wasn't even thinking about when me and Hannah were together. Did it suck? Yeah, there were many a times it sucked. Me and Hannah would be out somewhere and I'd see Hannah looking at someone else's shoes. I'd see Hannah saying, oh, look how beautiful her dress is, babe. I'd love to go get my nails done every single week, but I really know I don't need to. All these things. And it weighed heavy on me. And I kept telling myself, we will get there. I kept telling her and reiterating, babe, we will get there. If you trust me and let me invest and let me just exhaust our funds, sooner or later, we're going to be at a point where we can enjoy life on that level. She kept saying, I trust you, babe. I trust you, babe. Open line of communication is what is needed on both ends of the spectrum. Now, the reason I'm bringing that up is because it's important to understand that right now, males are 3.5 times more likely to commit suicide than a female. Why is that? The stress that gets put on the father of the household, the man of the household, the one who is looking out here knowing that he wants to give his wife the best, he wants to give his kids the best. I have private groups. You guys have seen me post about them. Some relationships, I have groups that are based in parenting and all this stuff. If you're interested, let me know. Within these groups though, I've got dads that are telling me how they're feeling. They're telling me they're stressed. They're telling me the things they want to do for their family, but they can't. They're letting me know that their credit is almost completely maxed out. They've exhausted all their funds. They're having to go get an equity line of credit against their house to do this, this, and this. Those types of things is what burdens a male. And guys, if you are not openly communicating this with your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever, it can cause issues within that household. So fast forward. Here me and Hannah are. I'm 32, she's 31. We're done. I'm quitting corporate America, I'm moving forward. but I'd had those 16 years of investing. And I think that's the hiccup that so many people are missing out on. Everyone wants to push a button, flip a light switch, or do something that's going to change their life overnight. I'm here to tell you, those things do happen, but it happens on a very much smaller scale, okay? You see all these people, everywhere you turn around on social media, everyone's doing great. Let this sink in. Everyone is doing great on social media. Every time you turn around, someone's posting the best gym selfie. Every time you turn around, someone's posting their new car they bought. You turn around, someone's remodeling their house. They just bought the nicest house. They're doing all these crazy things. Statistically, if you look at those numbers, only 1% of the people doing those things actually can afford it. The others cannot. If you look at numbers, did you know the average American right now, the average American based on income, cannot afford to get a cup of coffee every day, eat lunch at Chick-fil-A every day, and go out and eat dinner every single night, while still trying to keep up with the average. But somehow, we still get there because we've made that the norm. I tell you, it's like pedaling a bicycle. This is the fun analogy I like to talk about when you're trying to get where you're going. So the message I'm trying to get to you guys today is continue to invest. Continue to put the foot forward to do something bigger for the future instead of the now. It's like pedaling a bicycle, okay? Everyone looks at life as this flat plane, okay? Everybody. There's not many people that look at life as ups and downs, ups and downs. When you talk to the average person, they look at life as a flat plane. They continue doing the same thing every single day, day in, day out, expecting a better result, okay? So let's say life is flat, okay? It's a flat road, and you're on a bicycle and you're pedaling. Do you know what happens when you stop pedaling? You continue to move forward, but sooner or later, you stop. And then you gotta start pedaling again, and you stop for a little bit. All you're doing is just staying on that flat course. But that's not how life is. If that was the case, you would reach your destination much easier, right? Everyone would be living their dream. If life was flat, as we live life every single day, sooner or later we'd get there, and the struggle wouldn't be hard. But it's not. It's got many of hills, mountains, valleys, all these places. So let's go back to the bicycle analogy. As you're pedaling, flat surface, and all of a sudden you see a big hill. That's the next obstacle that's gonna be tough for your life. And you continue pedaling, and you're like, I'm just gonna chill. I've got a few more miles until I get there, so I'm just gonna relax. I'm gonna stop pedaling and just coast. And then when you get to the base of the mountain, you start picking it up. You're pedaling harder. As you get halfway up, I gotta take a break. You stop pedaling. When you stop pedaling, you start going backwards. Because remember, this bike doesn't have brakes. This is life. Life doesn't have a stop function, okay? You start going backwards. The momentum to go back to where you were is easier than the momentum it's going to take to get to the top. The momentum to get to the top is going to require you to work that much harder. But to go back to the flat plane where you were at, all you have to do is just hold on. And you're gonna get back down faster than how you climbed it because of the momentum. Now for the people that continue to pedal, to get to the top, they reach that pivotal point that they're at the top now. And then this is where one of two things happen. They say, I'm gonna breathe and I'm gonna enjoy this moment. They live a little bit. Or they say, I see the other hill over there. I'm gonna go get that one. Now keep in mind, the hill that you're looking at from the top of this one doesn't look as hard as the one you just climbed. It's a little bit bigger, but you've already climbed up so far that now to get up to that one, it's not too bad. I can see it from here. It's just a little bit higher. But what you don't understand is the valley you're about to go down is going to be deeper than the top of that hill. So now you go down this mountain. Life's going good. Now you don't even have to pedal if you don't want to. So life, you're just getting by now. You had your moment, you're just getting by. You're not pedaling. Momentum is picking you up like crazy. And then you realize, oh no, I'm going further down. It's gonna take me longer to climb this hill. The fact that you wasn't pedaling coming down that hill to climb the other one means now it's even harder to get back up it. If you're a mountain biker, you know that. As you're coming down and you know there's a hill on the other side, you're pedaling 2 times faster to go down this hill to where you can make the climb better on the other side. People don't want to do that in life. They want to just pedal a little bit and then stop and coast. They get halfway up the mountain, they stop, they go backwards, it's easier. They get to the top, they're like, this is great. There's my dream over there. They just start coasting down the hill to get to their dream. And when they get at the base of the mountain, they realize, wow, this is much bigger than I thought. And they got to start all back from scratch again. Continue pedaling, if you will. Don't stop. There's no reason to stop that momentum. Along the way, put your blinders on. Don't look at what other people are doing. Don't look at what your best friend has over here. Don't worry about his car. Women, if you're watching this, Don't worry about what she's wearing. Don't worry about the shoes, the dresses. If you're not living your dream, you should not already have these things. And I realized this a couple of weeks ago. That's the reason I wanted to make this video. Was a few weeks ago, I was on an online Zoom. I'm asking questions. People are submitting answers to me and we're going back and forth. And I said, how many people here are actually living their dream? And there were about 80, 90 people on the call. One person said that they were actually living their dream where they wanted to be. Everyone else was no, I'm so far away. No, I'm so far away. So Andy Peters did his homework. I went down every single person that registered for that event. I had their email address, I had their Instagram handle. So as I go to Instagram and look at all these people, the people that said they wouldn't live in their dream really looked like they were living a good life. Newer cars, a big house, designer clothes, designer gym attire, getting their hair done, getting their nails done, new makeup, big dinner events, going here and traveling, going to this club, going to this event. It was unreal. And I was like, hold on a second, how can you be buying all this stuff and doing all these things if you're not living in your dream? If you're not where you want to be in life at this moment, how are you able to have these things right now? It made no sense to me. So then I went back and I started looking at my notes. I started journaling, I started taking more notes, all this stuff, and I was like, it is clear to me. People want to live the best life they have in this moment right now while still trying to chase to get to their dreams. I'm here to tell you, it doesn't happen that way. Yes, there are people who have done it. Yes, there are people who have, the fake it until you make it thing. For the vast majority of people, that life just doesn't come that way. It comes with hard work. It comes with investing. It comes with saving the money to invest in these things. It comes with sacrifice. Married, Hannah was getting her nails done every week, getting her hair done, buying designer clothes, designer shoes, taking trips over here, eating at the finest restaurants. Me, buying all name brand stuff, buying watches and doing all this stuff. Do you know we would not be where we're at today? We would not be here. I can tell you that with 100% certainty because we would not have had the money to invest that paid us to do the things we're doing today. So the people that are watching this, who I really want to talk to, are the kids that are 18, 19, 20 years old. There are kids coming out of college that are 24, 25, who think $250,000 is a lot of money, who think $100,000 is a lot of money, who think even $75,000 is a lot of money. In the grand scheme of things, when you get married and you start having kids and you start having all this stuff pop up in your life, that's not a lot of money then. What is a lot of money is being able to save that money. I know kids right now who are teenagers going into their 20s who spend almost their entire paycheck on what? Shoes, designer clothes, going to the barbershop every single week, going out to eat, going to the club, spending all this. All you're doing is putting yourself behind. That's all you're doing. You're putting yourself further and further behind. Imagine if you took all that money and started saving it, and then every 3 months investing. Every 6 months buying this. Every 12 months a larger amount invest in this. 16 years of that would change your life. Problem is, but Andy, I want to be a teenager. I want to be a 20-year-old. I want to do 20-year-old stuff. I want to look cool when I'm that age. What's really cool, hear me out here, technology's changed, money's changed, the way you can make money has changed. It's not going to take you 16 years. It might take you 8 years. Imagine working your butt off, okay? Imagine having a 40-hour a week job and then having side gigs where you're making good money. Right now, there are jobs that are hiring. I have friends right now that are hiring for $20 to $25 an hour. That's $4,000 a month working 40 hours a week. Then now you get a weekend side job. You open up an online store. You maybe start selling clothing. You do something that generates you another $2,000 to $3,000. Keep in mind, you're only 17, 18 years old. That can bring you in a total, guys, of $6,000 to $7,000 a month. At that age, so many people want to move out. They want to get their apartment. They want to be cool. They want to have their girls over. They want to do these things. Forget it. Say, Mom, Dad, can I chill at the house for a little bit? Can I stay at home a little longer? And if your parents see you making this type of money and they see you investing, only a crappy parent is going to tell you no. A good parent is going to say, yes, I want you to get somewhere. I want you to have your dream one day. I support this. So let's rewind and look at these numbers. Let's say out of the $6,000 to $7,000 a month you have coming in, your car's paid for. You bought a crappy car. You paid cash for it after your first month. You found you a $7,000 to $10,000 car. You paid for it. Boom, it's yours. No car payment. Insurance liability, boom, you cover it. Cell phone bill cheap, not worried about it. You're not going out and eating crazy. You're not doing anything stupid in your life. So now let's say you only spend between gas, food, and all this stuff, $200 to $250 a week. You can do that. You can get away with it. That's $1,000. That still leaves you now with anywhere from $5,000 to $6,000 a month. So hear me out on this. After a full year of working, you're gonna have anywhere from $70,000 to $80,000 stashed in a bank account. Okay? You're young. You've already got credit card offers coming in. You're building your credit with that. You've got your car that's paid for. You're holding an asset. Things are going great. With that amount of money, you can get in now to rental properties. You can get now into buying cars and throwing them up on Turo. You can start doing things now. You get Airbnbs. You can start doing things now that it's investing. You can take that money and invest it in the stock market. You can do anything you want to do with that money that's an investment for yourself. And check this out. If you're doing that year over year over year, as you start working for that same company and you're 4 or 5 years deep, that pay increases. Now you're $30, $35 an hour. Your side gigs are picking up. Your online sales are picking up. Maybe now you've got leads coming in and you're just building this massive amount of business. Guys, that $70,000 over the course of 8 years has now probably multiplied into $100,000 to $120,000 years. You're now sitting on almost $720,000 and you're 25 years old. You're 25 with $750,000 invested. Do you know what that can do for your life? Hear me out on this. With that type of money, as you're building and you're putting people in houses and you're renting houses, or maybe you're doing the Section 8 housing and you're doing all this stuff, guys, you have built yourself an empire. Between all of your real estate and the money coming in and all this stuff, you could have a crazy, crazy monthly income coming in. If you do your money right and you save just right, with $750,000 invested, if you only put $500,000 of that into rental properties, businesses, buying corporate real estate, you're going to have good money coming in. You're around that 25 mark, okay? You're 24 to 25 years old. You've got 6, 7 houses under your belt. It's bringing in, maybe $1,000 profit a month. So you've got $6,000 to $7,000. You're giving a percentage of that to a company to manage all that for you. You don't even have to worry about it. And then you got another, 200,000 some change invested in the stock market. Stock market has been shown that year over year, it's going to average anywhere from an 8 to 10% increase. So now every year, you're adding anywhere from, I'd say on the low end, $15,000 to $20,000 a year in your pocket on top of the rental housing and stuff coming in, and you're still working your normal job. You're still hustling, but you're only 24, 25. So now you more than likely already have the time to say, Mom, Dad, I'm ready to get out on my own. I'm ready to have my own thing. You may already be out on your own by then. And now if you meet a nice lady, you've got money coming in. Not only do you have probably at this point in time, $10,000 to $12,000 a month coming in, you have the $5,000 to $6,000 on top of it, minus your percentage, and you've got your investments. You're making well over $15,000 a month, and you're going on 26, 27 years old. Things start to multiply. You start following the trend. Now your wife comes in. Y'all are married. She's got a good job. She's making money. Now you become the power couple. You start combining this. You start investing more and more and more. By the time you are 30 and 32 years old, you will be set for the rest of your life. The problem is there's something to always take you from your money. Always. Whether it be the advertisement that pops up on your phone for the new shoes that are getting released, a new clothing release. If you buy every single thing that's always newly released, you will go broke. It's like me. I'm subscribed to all this stuff. Whiskey, there's a new release of whiskey every single day. So if I bought a bottle every single day, I could still barely keep up because there's gonna be 30 brands releasing a new bottle every day. Hannah likes gym clothes. Guess what? There's a new release once a month of someone releasing a new color, a new design, always. If you're into regular clothes, there's always gonna be a new hoodie coming out. There's gonna be a new release of shoes. There's gonna be everything, watches, you name it. If you're always trying to buy the newest of the news, you're going to go broke. Phones, you name it. Anything, computers, the one I'm on here, cameras, everything is always going to be new. And as long as you're chasing to have the newest of the new, you're going to always be broke. And it's happening with the younger generation. And then they're not wanting to change anything until they're in their 30s, until they're in their 40s. Like I said, I work with people right now. A lot of people I grew up with that say, Andy, I want to change my life. I'm tired of working myself to death. I'm tired of not having the things that I want in life. I'm tired of my wife having to go out here and slave every single day for work. I want to give my kids a better life. What can I do? Downsize. Downsize your car, downsize your house, downsize your spending, downsize everything. Take that money that you save from downsizing and start investing it. Start building you something for yourself. Because now, time is not of the essence. Now you're in your 40s and or your 50s. Time's ticking away. You don't want to go and work now 20-hour days. That's what you may be doing now. That's why I cannot preach enough. If you are a teenager and you are in your 20s, work your butt off, invest, and going forward, it'll change your life, hands down. There's too many people right now though that are young, that are chasing the car, that are chasing the watch, that are chasing this personality, how they live on Instagram. They're trying to pursue all this stuff when none of that stuff is even real. Let that sink in. Some of those guys are living paycheck to paycheck. Some of those guys are actually having to work. You don't see the work they're doing. Some of those guys are kicking back saying, oh yeah, I'm living my dream. I wake up every morning, have a cup of coffee, and I just chill back and relax. Some of those guys are running companies behind the scenes they're not even telling you about that's stressing them the crap out. All you can do is focus on you right here, okay? You listen to this, focus on you and nothing else. Stop looking over here, stop looking over there. Sit down with a pen and paper, write out your goals, write out your dreams, the things you want to achieve in life, and then go back and look at all your expenses. So the best thing you can do for yourself is get an app that tracks your finances. I use Rocket Money. It used to be Truebill, changed its name. The reason I like Rocket Money, I can pull it up on my phone and see exactly what I'm doing. As you can see right there, I spent $31,000 last month. It breaks down where I spent my money for the whole entire month. It gets even better than that. I can go down and select what have I spent for this year versus last year. And then it breaks that down for you. So then when you see that, you're like, okay, wow, now I know where my money's going. Where could I make changes? So you do the same thing. You download that, look at your spending habits, say, where can I make these changes? Turn it into a game. You and your wife have fun with this, or even if you're 18, 19 years old, download this app and start playing with it. Start figuring out where your money's going. That's the problem. A lot of people don't understand where their money's going. Do you know how many people come to me and say, Andy, I don't know where my money goes. I see a deposit go in, I look at the end of the week and the money's gone, and I didn't even buy anything. It's like, yeah, you did. You forgot about the $10 here, the $12 here, the $5 here, the $10 here, the $8 here, the subscription here, the $100 here, the $99 here. Before you know it, all your money's gone. I know this is a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I want to start doing videos like this to just explain little bitty hacks that you can do to help you. And it starts with all in the mind. Like people have all these, sign up for an Amazon store, sign up for drop shipping, sign up for this, do a Walmart store, do this Airbnb arbitrage, do this stuff. All these people are telling you what to do to get the money, but they're not telling you the number one culprit for the reason you're not doing those things. Here, it all starts up here. So many people are spending more to look a certain way than they are willing to put into themselves to get to that next level. Does it suck? Yes. But you can accelerate it so much faster now because there's so much more ways to make money. When me and Hannah got married, back in 1999, when I started working at Unum, we didn't have these things to do better with. We didn't have the technology we have today to make money with. Everything was done with these hands, trying to figure out a way to make more money. If I would have had this, I probably would have progressed faster in terms of making money, but I also could have been sent backwards by how much time this would have taken away from me. I would have seen more clothing. I'd have seen more shoes. I'd have seen more BMX bikes. I'd have seen more video games. I would have seen my friends out living a crazy life and partying and having fun. I'd have had FOMO. If you know what that means, it's the fear of missing out. I'd have had all these things going in my life that may have cost me from living my dream. And I'm gonna do another video on that. That's gonna be the next video I drop, is talking about how this thing here can either make or break your life. So in today's time, kids, 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds, if you're a parent, show them this video. If you're a parent, support them. If you're a parent, push them to do something different. When your son comes to you and you see his new shoes, his new shirt, he just got through trying to buy this over here, him and his buddies are hanging out, having the best of times, they're spending a lot of money, pull that son in and say, son, please listen to me. Better yet, get him a mentor, get him a coach. Do it with him. I've done that. Lawson sets in on a lot of my mentor meetings. I want Lawson to see how things work. My kids right now, I guarantee you probably have more money saved than most 16 and 18-year-olds I come in contact today with. Promise you that. They have a spreadsheet that they work off of that shows them the things they've got to do outside of normal chores. Chores they don't get paid for. They live in this house. They're supposed to help wash dishes. They're supposed to help with laundry. They're supposed to help with house cleaning. They're supposed to do those things. That's part of life. The extra things they do in life, the extra things that I don't necessarily tell them to do that they do on their own, they get paid for that. They have side gigs. They have side jobs. And as they're making that extra money, they're not out here spending it. They want to save it. They want to hold it back because they've seen what happens when you save money. They've seen what happens that when the money gets larger, you can get better things. So take your kids, bring them in, tell them. My dad did the same thing to me. I didn't take my dad's full advice. If I'd have taken my dad's full advice, I would have cut that down by probably, it took me 16 years, I'd have cut that down to about probably 10. If I'd have taken my dad's advice, I'd have cut 6 years off the bat. But I didn't because I was like, man, I'm smarter than my dad. My dad doesn't understand what I want in my life. My dad did understand. So parents, talk to your kids. Stop trying to even show them because they watch you as well. If they're watching you and your husband, you and your wife, boyfriend, girl, whoever is in your household, if they're watching you guys constantly go out and buy, upgrade, new this, new that, and then they hear the conversation of, we gotta start watching our money. We're spending so much money, we gotta start watching it. All this stuff sits in their head. They start to see the money's not here. They start to see the card you're using to swipe. They start to see the stress. And to them, that becomes normal life. So then as they get older and they're doing those same things, it doesn't seem abnormal because they're like, well, I saw mom and dad do it. I saw mom and dad stress, but that's just the American dream. It's not. Do you know how cool it is when Lainey or Lawson or Lyndon have friends that come over to the house? It's 11, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and they're like, Lainey, does your mom and dad, are they just home all day? Lainey goes, yeah, they're home all day. Oh, do they not, like, they don't go to work? No, dad has some stuff he does on a computer. He does that for a few hours a day. You know, sometimes he doesn't have to do it at all. And then mom just hangs out with us and she does stuff around the house and we just have fun. Oh, well, how do they do that? And Lainey has a time with it. Lainey says, oh, well, my mom and dad, they do like investments and stuff and they just worked really hard and it was crazy. And then Lainey starts telling about the nights of her sleeping on the floor at the cafe and all this stuff. And the girl's like, that sounds fun, you know, because these other kids don't see that. This is a whole new realm to these kids. So then when the parents come to pick up the kids, which the parents know the story, the kid runs and says, Daddy, did you know that, like, they're home with their kids all day? Dad's like, yeah, I know. Me and Andy are already talking. Me and Andy are already doing it. But it opens up this whole new world to them that wouldn't have been opened otherwise. When they think of two people staying at home, or two people going out to eat breakfast with their kids, or two people doing something, they think of grandparents. The only person that can help your kids change the generation, the only person that can actually help your kids get to the next level at the end of the day, it's not me, it's not a coach, it's not a mentor, it's you, the parents. If you want your kids to succeed in a different way, you also have to teach them a different way. If all they see is the same thing and that's what they see growing up, sooner or later that becomes normal to them. What kids see becomes average. I worked as a mentor for the YMCA in North Georgia. I worked with several high schools as well as middle schools. My job was to go and mentor kids that needed a mentor in their life. Some kids come from broken families. Some kids come from just families that were just all over the place. Some didn't have families. And what some of these kids thought was normal is not normal. Some of these kids coming home and seeing their mom completely passed out because she was completely tanked on alcohol or drugs, to them that was normal. Which means as they got older, if they went down a path like that, that's just normal. They grew up around it. I had one kid that would share stories with me about how his dad would treat his mom. And I even asked the kid, I was like, do you think other parents are that way? He went, yeah. Yeah, that's just how parents are. I've talked to some other friends and they're that way. It was normal. Which means as this kid grows up, it'll be normal for him to yell and scream and push and shove his wife. It'll be normal for him to degrade maybe another woman because that's what he grew up with. So as parents, I don't care if your kid is single digits and I don't care if they're a teenager in their 20s. If you want something different for them, talk to them. Set them down and say, let's develop a plan. Me and your mother will even do it with you. Because there are a lot of parents right now that could learn a lot from younger kids. I'm the same way. You've heard me talk about it. I have learned more from kids probably half my age than I have from people my age. Their brains think different. Technology's different. There's a whole different way of making a living, and it's there. If you do it together, you could even change your life. So if there's one thing I can say while ending this, chase your dreams. Whatever you're passionate about, just go after it. Set your goals high. Don't stop pedaling. Continue to pedal all the way through. If it's tough, continue pedaling. Remember, life doesn't have breaks. We think that it does. Like, we're just gonna take a break today because we need a breather. I need to rest. Because we think about a bicycle. If you're climbing a hill and it gets too hard, you squeeze the brake, you stop on the hill, you stop pedaling. You don't start going backwards, right? Life doesn't have that. People will argue with it, it does. Andy, yeah, it does. There's many times I just stop. I stop grinding, I just take a break, I need to catch a breather. You're forgetting one thing. The trail that you're riding doesn't change, it stays the same. It's not going to continue moving without you. In life, the trail is moving every second. The trail's time. Time does not stop for you when you stop, it continues going. That's what happens to people when they're trying to chase their dreams. They forget a day went by. That day turns into a week, that week turns into a month, that month turns into a year, and you look back and you're like, wow, it's another year. I see people doing that when they were trying to chase this physical look. When I was training at the gym left and right, I had more clients than I know what to do with. And I would see people coming in saying, well, you know, I've got next week's gonna be this, and I've got this next week, we're traveling here, we're doing this, so I'm gonna get on my fitness plan when I get back. 3 weeks turn into, well, next month is I've got a wedding I gotta be in, I've got this, and this, so I'll get to it. I have to get to it the month after that. Before you know it, the years went by. So you can't stop. Because when you stop, time doesn't. When you stop, guess what? You continue to age. It's like me being a parent. People say, Andy, what is your driving factor and motivating factor for the things that you do? I want to be the best parent I can be. Because there may become a day where I'm no longer a parent to them. I may no longer be here. I want to leave memories etched in their minds so deep that they cannot forget the moments that we had and the things that we did. But to do that, I have to continue to wake up every day and say, I'm going to be a better dad today than I was yesterday. What can I do? What can I do that's going to change my kids' course? What can I do that's going to make them better kids as they grow up, better teenagers, better adults? What am I going to do to contribute to that? I have to continue working as a dad. The days that I stop, time keeps going. They keep aging. I personally know dads who have said, this year's been a busy year. I've really been focusing on myself. Next year, I'm really gonna focus on my kids. The next year comes, your kid's a year older, you missed a year of their life. I have some dads who've had to bury their kids the next year, and they're never getting that life back ever again. Same happens with relationships. Me and Hannah have been to more funerals than we could ever imagine in our life. I've hugged the dad that's lost the kid. I've hugged the dad that's lost the wife. I've hugged the mom as she's grieving the loss of her husband and her child. I've carried my best friends to their grave. I've carried my family members to the grave. And the one thing that we all wish we had back was just a little bit more time. Because we forgot that when we stopped going, when we stopped to be a better husband, when we stopped to be a better dad, we just wanted to take a breather, time kept going. Your kids got older. They moved out. They're no longer there. The time you wanted with your wife, no longer there. Sickness set in. She's no longer here. Don't stop. Stop focusing so much on trying to impress other people. Stop focusing so much on trying to have the best when the best is in front of you. I could be wearing the cheapest of clothes, the cheapest of shoes, not having a nice watch. And the fact that I'm home with my kids, they'll appreciate that more. My kids do not know how much my sweatshirt costs. My kids don't know how much my shoes cost. But I can promise you one thing. If I told my kids, would you rather us look like this, or would you rather mom and dad be home with you? You know what they're gonna pick? I would rather mom and dad be home with me. You know why? Because my kids don't care how other people view their parents. My kids just want us around. When you program your mind to be a better dad, a better mom, a better husband, a better friend, a better investor, you know what happens? Things change. You're not worried about the outside world. You're not worried how you're perceived. Me and Hannah had friends that when they saw our first townhome that we bought, we didn't buy it, we rented it. When they saw our first townhome that we moved into, they'd walk in and say, wow, this is so pretty, it's nice, I love it. And when the moment that they left and they would go hang out and me and Hannah wasn't present, they would talk about it. I thought they were doing so good. Why did they get that little townhouse? Why is Hannah driving a used vehicle and Andy's driving that Honda Accord? Like, I thought things were going good. I heard Andy was making like really good money. Why are they doing that? And then Hannah would go out and I would hear the things that they said about her. Why is she wearing that? If Andy makes so much money, couldn't he afford to buy her better clothes? We heard those things. I saw the text messages. I even heard the conversation sometimes when me and Hannah were out eating. And people were sitting in a booth behind us not realizing we were on the other side. There were many nights that actually made Hannah cry. Do you know how much it bothered me? 0. I finally got to a point where I realized these people can continue to talk. These people can continue to think something they want to think. But give it a few years. We'll see what they think then. Fast forward. Now some of those people blow me up. Ask me how they can change their life. Asking how they can do this, how they can do that. Well, had you not blown your money to look a certain way, to live in a certain house and to drive a certain car, you'd had money to invest. Having that money to invest would have changed your life 5 to 8, 10 years down the road. Problem is, you weren't thinking about your future. I hope everyone has a great and amazing holiday week ahead of us. We have Thanksgiving. During this Thanksgiving, there comes a time where people give thanks, and we should all be thankful for the life that we have. Whether you are up to debt in your ears, whether you don't have the money to live the life you want to live, if you don't have the money to give the kids the dream life that you dream in your head that you want to give them, whether or not you stay up at night sometimes crying because you want to give your kids and your wife a better life as a dad. Look at the things that's in front of you and be proud of it though. I can say that. Because there's something to be said about having your kids and them not being in the dirt. There's something said about having healthy kids and not having to go to the hospital to see if they're gonna make it to tomorrow. Sometimes we still have to be extremely thankful for the situations we're in because things can always be worse. So during the Thanksgiving week, I want you to look around at your friends, your family, the close ones that you're by. Don't compare yourself. Don't worry about the house that they live in. Don't worry about the cars they're driving. Sometimes Thanksgiving turns into the show-off event where let's see how dressed up we can get. Let's see if we can show off the newest shoes we got. Let's see if we can show this stuff off. Forget about it. None of that matters. Be thankful your family's alive. Be thankful you have cousins. Be thankful you have aunts, uncles. Maybe you still have your grandparents. Be thankful for what you have around you because it can be taken from you at any given minute. Show thanks and enjoy it. Christmas is coming. People are going to be stressed at Christmas, buying Christmas presents. Again, be thankful. You may not be able to get your kids that one present that they've been begging for, but I can promise you that your kids would rather have you alive than that present. So dads, if you're feeling some sort of way, if you're feeling like life is caving in around you and you just can't handle it, talk to someone. Get with me. I can get you in touch with the right people to talk to. I have people that work with me left and right for just those types of things. Your kids, your wife would rather have you here than not here. We've all been there. They say that 80% of males at some point in time have thought about just ending their life because they're so stressed. Your family needs and wants you more than the gift or anything that you could give them. My wife would rather have me in this world than her not have the newest car or the newest of clothes. My kids would rather have their dad than the new video game or the new toys that's coming out. You're not a material item. You're a human. Remember that. Communicate. Talk to your wife. Talk to your loved ones. Reach out to someone. The holidays are rough. Don't let the holidays get a hold of you so you go down a deep path and you can't get out. You have people that love you. You have people that care about you more than you'll ever know. When the first of the year comes, I want every single person that wants to change their life to do something different. When I say New Year's resolutions, this is not a New Year's resolution. This is you changing your life. Sometimes making changes like this during the holidays can wear you out. So first of the year, you and your wife, partner, whoever, sit down. Download an app that tracks your finances. See where you can make cuts, see where you can make investments. Make the proper investments that fit your lifestyle. So come first of the year, I want you, your partner, husband, wife, whoever, to sit down and figure out the goals you want. You can start on them now, but I know the holidays sometimes get a little crazy with travel and stuff. This is one of those times where I say, wait till the first of the year. There's nothing you're gonna do in your finances between now and January. It's gonna change the course of your life. So I challenge everyone, when the holidays is over, get it all out. There's nothing that you're gonna do between now and the end of the year that's gonna put you in a completely different situation if you've been doing the same thing for 25 to 30 years. Get through the holidays, get through the stress. But January 1st, I want you, your wife, your husband, your partner, whoever, to have a plan. In that plan, I want you to figure out how you're going to change your life, how you're going to do better for yourself. And in that plan, think about your kids. If you have kids that are teenagers, 20s, talk with them, guide them. Let them know even the plans you're trying to change. Include them in it. Include them in their investments. My dad did that to me. My grandfather did that. I remember going and sitting at the bank with my grandfather when I was 10, 12 years old and listening to him talk about moving money around. Listen to him talk about how to invest in this. It was instilled in me at such a young age that that's all I knew. But right now there's kids that are watching their parents where all they know is dad is stressed. Mom wants this, dad wants this. They want the new cars, they want this, they can't afford it. They're arguing about it. I hear them yelling from downstairs. I hear them yelling from upstairs. Kids hear it, and sooner or later they think that's normal. That's not normal. We've made that normal. So thank you for watching. Be ready for my next video where I talk about the #1 silent killer in America, a cell phone. See y'all later.